This edition of My Thoughts Monday is brought to you by Valve Performance, the team behind the Nordboard, Force Decks, the Groin Bar, and Human Track. Guys, the most important ability for all of our athletes is availability, and that's the absolute goal of Valve Performance, is to provide solutions to performance professionals so that we can get the right information to make the right decision at the right time for the betterment of the athletes that we get to work with. To do this, guys, they have a wide range of validated products that focus on usability, and having being founded by the School of Exercise and Nutrition Sciences at the Queensland University of Technology, they're extremely evidence-based and they're beyond transparent. I can tell you that our time using the Nordboard and being involved with Force Decks, we have been introduced to so many amazing people that have truly helped us become better coaches, have a better understanding, not just of the technology, but also what we're doing with our athletes. So make sure you hop over to valveperformance.com today to make sure you check out what they got. It's going to make you better and to do better by your athletes. The world of strength and conditioning is filled with some awesome practitioners who are always trying to evolve and continue to grow professionally throughout their career. The problem with many of us, though, is finding a new outlet, a new way, and a new perspective on the questions that we may have, whether it be programming, whether it be situational with dealing with coaches, or whether it be career advice. Because all too often what happens is we get stuck in with the same group of friends and the same group of colleagues that we reach out to for advice repeatedly over and over again. But what we should really be looking for is different perspectives, different people who have been through different situations who can help us make better decisions both for ourselves and our athletes. And one awesome place to start with that is the forums in the Strength Coach Network. In the forums in the Strength Coach Network, you'll be able to reach out and get feedback, input, and advice from coaches from all over the world, from everything from career advice to training modalities to programming. There's people there just for the same reason as you are, to try to get better, to learn, to share information, and to grow the field of strength and conditioning. So hop on over to strengthcoachnetwork.com/CVASPS. That's strengthcoachnetwork.com/CVASPS to dive into all that great content today and get your 48-hour trial for only $1. I look forward to seeing you in the Strength Coach Network.
Hey everyone, my name is John Wagle. I was asked to do a My Thoughts Monday by Jay, mostly to talk about what I will be discussing at the 2020 version of the seminar. Before I get into that, I kind of wanted to take a moment just to kind of talk about my relationship with the seminar and with Jay and everybody else that's there. When I was a much younger version of myself, I took the opportunity to go to the seminar as an attendee. And it really kind of like changed my whole perspective on strength conditioning and really ignited my passion for this field. Uh, I got to meet some of the brightest minds, even still to this day. Like I remember meeting Landon Evans and Jim Snyder and Cal Dietz. And I also got to meet some very, very close friends who were also attending the conference, and their connections that I still hold near and dear to this day. And so I really can't speak highly enough of what Jay has put together. It's truly something special, from the quality of speaker on down to just the very inviting and welcoming nature in which a lot of like the post speaking barbecues and social events get to. It's really something that's very unique. The access that you get to really, really smart people and the relationships that you can form based on that. Like I can't speak highly enough as someone who has been positively influenced by their experience at this event. And so all that to say, it's extremely humbling to be invited as a speaker. Now I feel like in parts, like my career's kind of come to this full circle moment where Jay has asked me to speak at this event, and it's one that's truly humbling. I'm very grateful to do it, and I will be talking about something that I'm very passionate about and that I've got to spend a great deal of time in, and that's with eccentric training methods, and more specifically, I'll spend most of my time on accentuated eccentric loading. For those that you are members of the community, I have done an online presentation that's probably a couple years old now, but that would be good to check out as just kind of a primer for what's going to be discussed at the seminar next summer. But since that talk, I've had the good fortune of doing a great deal of research in this area and continue to collaborate with people that are embedded at university settings now that I'm on the practical side working with the Royals. I continue to do research with people like Chris Tabor and Tim Sukamel and others. But this is an area that I got to dive into mostly because it was the topic of my dissertation while doing my doctoral work at East Tennessee State. And so where we're going to start at the seminar is really a physiological underpinnings and kind of why people are interested in eccentric training methods. And logically, like when you have a talk that's rooted in accentuated eccentric loading, the next question is, well, what about manipulating movement cadence or tempo, or what about flywheel resistance, or even what about plyometrics, all of which are kind of in a way eccentric training methods. And so what I'll do is spend a little bit of time in each one of those areas and talk about some of those physiological rationales behind each. And hopefully then that will stage a discussion around the programming of each one of those eccentric training tactics as well, because each of them does have a pretty unique place within a long-term training process. And so we'll kind of set that up within an annual plan or within kind of a phase potentiation model, and talk about what types of concentrated loads each one of those eccentric training methods can drive. And hopefully from that, we'll be able to get some of the kind of deeper rooted science piece of eccentric training methods, but more importantly, because we all do have to go then and apply these methods and coach our athletes and get the most out of the adaptations, we'll spend the bulk of our time talking about the pragmatic approach to programming each one of these tactics. But we will spend most of the time on the accentuated eccentric loading piece, and that's not just because it's my area of passion and of the deepest research, but I also think of the four methods of eccentric training mentioned, it is the most versatile, and it is the one that can be applied most broadly within an annual plan, and has also the most room for manipulating of programming strategies within it. AEL can be applied to resistance training on up to plyometrics, and so it provides you a level of versatility as you shift your focus from maybe adding muscle mass or changing some muscle architecture on down to really high power outputs, really high velocity of movement. And so AEL gets kind of the rap of, well, it's super maximal, it's really heavy, but I hope throughout my talk you'll be able to see that it's got some application kind of no matter where you are, as long as you're pretty thoughtful in your approach. But I look forward to seeing everyone next summer. It seems like it's far away, but I promise you it's gonna sneak up on all of us. And I just wanted to thank Jay again and thank everybody for listening today. I'll see you guys next summer.